Did you know that there are everyday things that you're doing right now that may be causing your disc herniation and disc bulge? Hi, I'm Dr. Ongko.
And I'm Dr. Pacis.
And we're both chiropractors right here in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
Here at the Active Family Chiropractic, we've been serving the community for more than 20 years. And lumbar disc herniations and lumbar disc bulges are things that are very common to present in our office.
So in the last video, we talked about the anatomy and the mechanic of disc bulge and disc herniation. And if you want more information about that, you can click on the video above here.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos so that you can see a lot of our future videos coming up.
So let's start off from the very thing that you do in the morning, okay, which is get up from bed. And this is something that a lot of people make mistakes with, right, Dr. Ajay?
Yep.
So the first thing that most people do as they're getting up is that first of all, they'll try to fling themselves up, or do some sort of variation of that. Well, the problem with that is that, that disc is actually quite thick in the morning, and so the chance of actually injuring that is even greater than, the rest of the day, right? So what would be a better way, Dr. AJ, as far as getting up, do you think?
Yeah, so lying down again, instead of flinging straight up like you did before, all you would want to do is turn your body to the side,
right,
and then using your arms to push yourself up and swing your legs down onto the ground.
Exactly.
So a lot safer that way.
Absolutely. And another thing that we find a lot of, and this would be a second point, is just even wearing socks in the morning, right? Getting to work. A lot of people will do one of these, right? Getting it in. Well, that's not the way to do it properly. Again, you're bending from your waist. That is going to, injure your disc much more than if you were to say bringing your leg up and wearing your socks that way.
Yeah, I mean, just to show you, like in the model, like we talked about in the anatomy, when you're pushing forward like that, that's a lot of compressive force onto the disc itself, and you can see how that might cause a herniation or a bulge, especially if this is a practice that you do every single morning.
So another point that a lot of people do these days is a lot of sitting, excessive amount of sitting. And so I think that we need to, first of all, get up more often. And if you have to work in front of a computer, get up every, 15 minutes? How often do you recommend to your patient?
Well, at least every half hour. So what I recommend to my patients is maybe set an alarm on your phone if you find that you're sitting down for long periods, just so your body doesn't get used to that compressive force for too long.
That's right. So another thing to keep in mind is that if you're going to be sitting for an excessive period of time, make sure that there is a nice lumbar support, to support that curvature in your lower back. Right? Any other tips that you want to?
Yeah, I mean, something as easy as a sheet like that. Some people have lumbar supports that you actually attach to the chair. But what you want to be mindful of, especially is on the side view, is that you have that curvature. It doesn't slump in like this because, again, that's going to compress the disc quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, something as simple as even, say, in the wintertime you have those fluffy jacket. Sometimes that's actually just good enough to support that lower back, right?
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, even in your car, it's best practice to be doing that as well, because people go long commutes or long driving throughout the day.
That's right. So another thing that happens a lot of, and I see this all the time, is somebody would be sitting and they would try to pick something up off the floor while they're sitting. So what I would both recommend is to actually crouch all the way down and pick it up. And don't be lazy about this, because this is what's gonna potentially cause those small little tears on the outer ring of the fiber, right?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you've heard it before, is always use your knees when you're bending down to pick something up.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I find to be difficult to keep that nice curvature in the lower back is when people actually do cross-legged sitting. You'll see my curvature when I'm doing cross-legged sitting like this. What's happening with that curve is that you've lost that nice curve that you're supposed to have, and it's really quite difficult unless you're quite flexible and to actually keep that curvature there all the time, right? So one of the things that we do in martial arts is actually sit this way, and this, as you can see, you've actually retained that lumbar curvature, and that is potentially much better for your disc as well, right? Anything else that you would add to that?
No, that looks pretty good.
Okay. I think one thing that is worthy of mentioning is that sometimes, when it's something that is as simple as a sheet of paper or a pen, we want to be really careful with just not doing one of these, okay? Again, we're gonna lose that curvature, potentially harming the disc. So you always still wanna be picking it off the floor from a crouched position, all right? So another thing that we wanna talk about is vacuuming, right? A lot of time we have, people that are vacuuming and they're reaching over, and overreaching while you're vacuuming is, again, likely to injure that lower back, right? Anything you want to add to picking things up on the floor or vacuuming?
Yeah, I mean, your body will tell you where the stresses will go as well. So if you feel a lot of strain or stress into the lower back when you're doing this, that usually means that your posture is not correct.
Yeah. So ideally, you want to be actually, just kind of keeping your body upright and just following along with the vacuum, right? As opposed to overreaching, right? Something else that actually, and this is also available on a previous video on how to shovel properly, is to make sure that you're actually using your body more instead of, lifting and twisting around or again overreaching. You want to use your body and use your legs and your buttock muscles a lot more as opposed to just flinging it up with your arm.
Right. Yeah, so always turning your body to where you're going to drop it down. But most especially when it comes to the disc in between the segments, we not only talked about compressive, but twisting forces can have a very bad effect on your disc as well.
Yeah, which actually brings to mind the worst thing that you can do to your lumbar disc. One of the worst things is lifting anything really heavily and actually twisting. So you're not only compressing, you're now shearing that disc. And so when you're lifting and you want to turn with your body, right? Turn with that body. So you're always facing, like Dr. AJ was saying, facing to wherever you're lifting to. You never want to lift something up and then turn with your feet both planted down. That is one of the worst things that you can actually do for your lumbar disc, and that may cause some potential disc bulge and disc herniation, right?
Yeah. All right, so we talked about the morning time being a time that you're more likely to injure the disc, and something that happens in the morning is when you're brushing your teeth. Now, there's ways to do this incorrectly. When you're brushing your teeth, often enough people will be bent over the sink like this while they're brushing, which you can see compresses the disc quite a bit there. So what you want to do is support yourself a little bit more by having your arm placed onto the sink, and then you want to have more of a straight upright posture while you're brushing as opposed to bent forward, right? So a lot of the support onto the sink with your arm to keep you stable while you're brushing this way. So you can see there's a lot of everyday things that may cause a lumbar disc herniation or disc bulge, and hopefully these are some good tips to help you avoid injuring yourself in that way.
And on our next video, we're going to talk about 5 different exercises that may be causing disc herniations, and we're going to also take a look at some 5 alternatives instead.
Thanks for tuning in for our video, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe and click the notification bell to see our weekly videos.
To learn more about how Wellness Chiropractic and the Active Family Chiropractic and Wellness Center can help you with your chronic pain problems, please visit www.wellnesschiropractor.com.
The Active Family Chiropractic and Wellness Center is located at 80 Queen Street South in Mississauga, Ontario, L5M1K4.